Hello, everybody. This is Mark Sawyer, Vice President of Paul Miller Motor Company. We're talking to you from a beautiful Blue Oval studio in the Ford Pro Commercial Elite building. Incredible complex we've built here. Want to talk today a little bit about some news that we heard yesterday. It's amazingly good news. We walked out of a sales meeting. Everybody worried about tariffs, what we're going to do about price increases, how we're going to handle our customer base. And then Ford comes out with an incredible situation we're pleased to have to deal with. I mean, I remember in 2015, Ford was trying to sell cars and gave everybody X plan. Okay, let me try to explain what that means. X plan would be if you work for Paul Miller. If you're an employee at a Ford vendor, any dealership. They announced yesterday that every single person gets A plan. Okay, A plan would be thousands of dollars difference between retail down to what A plan. A plan would mean that you work at the plant. You were an employee of Ford Motor Company, and you know we've never seen this before. It's unprecedented in my time, unless you can recall in the past. There's very few exclusions. All the popular models that we have are an A plan pricing. We've seen situations where it's $5,000 or $6,000 difference in the price between literally invoice is what we pay as a dealer to what you're going to walk out the door paying. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this before. I don't know if you know we've got probably 100 years or more of automotive experience sitting around the table here today. Has anybody else seen anything like this?
No.
Josh?
Oh, no. And I think when you look at the reasons behind why they're doing this, if you look at what happened during COVID, with going, the wild prices, the increases and going over sticker and what happened during that time. I think with the OEM, they're definitely looking at what could happen with the tariff problem. Yeah. And every dealer across the country, every OEM across the country is talking about this because they don't want to see what we went through during 21, 22, 23, 24 with a lot of the price gouging. Yeah. They don't want to see that. And what better way to kind of combat that than to go with employee pricing?
Wow.
Because it's
a big difference too.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. Because I've never seen this. I've been in this business for 15 years. I've never seen this, but it's setting the precedence of what Ford is going to set the stage of how they're going to handle this versus all the other OEMs coming out first and stating, hey, we're going to do this for Americans because we're built in America. We're built for stuff. We're everything on
American
that side
company.
of things.
Yeah.
And we're going to come out and we're going to say we're not going to do the shenanigans. We're going to take care of our customers, take care of our dealers, and make this right instead of the opposite of seeing $4, $5, $6, $7, $10,000 more on MSRPs. They're going to combat that with something that's really good for the consumer. Really good for the consumer.
Well, I'm thinking about that. I mean, you had the people that, how many people bought during COVID that would be now better financially off with the money they'll save now as A-plan buyers? That if you got that little bit of what you owe versus what you can buy, now you can buy, right? I mean, $5,000 off of invoice, that's a number. That's not sticker. That's invoice. So that's something I never thought about. But
yeah, and it's you look at the state of our economy, and there's a lot of things with, you got the tariffs, you've got the price of eggs is still ridiculous. You look at everything, and the way that you combat that is by creating good programs that are going to benefit your consumers, and then throw out. I mean, you've got as low as 2.9 for 36 months on F-150s.
Wow.
So there's still good. Obviously we would love to see 0% by all means, but we're seeing them really get intense and have a plan to relieve some of the pressure
And
from
Josh,
the consumer.
that stacks, though.
Yeah.
What you're talking about stacks on top of the employee pricing. So the employee pricing is just your starting point.
Yeah, that's just your
Right.
starting point. You're going to be, you get employee pricing,
Other rebates.
other rebates that apply, plus 2.9, 3.9 for 48, 5.9 for 72 months. So you're still getting very competitive rates, and you're getting to save all that money.
Wow.
Pretty good times.
Right. Mike, have you ever seen anything like this in your career?
No, and you really have to think about what Ford is doing and how that's affecting their customers. If you realize all the fear and concern that's out there right now,
Uncertainty, yeah.
and how it's affecting everybody, like Josh said, egg prices, they've taken this and turned it into a positive. I think everybody in this room can be really proud that they're a part of Ford because of what Ford is doing for the consumer.
Right.
And think about the position that consumer is going to be in 3-5 years down the road compared to the position that the COVID customer was in 3 and 5 years down the road.
Sure.
It's a positive for sure. But yeah, I'm really proud to be a part of that.
Right.
I mean, there is so much concern out there. Where are we going to be with these tariffs? What are we going to do? And I think the public believes that the automotive industry is going to take advantage of them.
They do.
And Ford's not doing that. They're saying no, we're going the other direction.
Right.
So I'm proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you can watch other podcasts and how these other OEMs are building up their inventory they can't sell.
Right.
Right. And here other Ford stores are in a situation kind of like us. We have a lot of inventory. So now it's all qualified to get the number.
It's employee pricing for all.
For all.
Right.
So it's like, have you heard about the Stellantis issues and GM, building their trucks in Mexico and think, Ford's just getting in front of it saying, look it. And to your point, I'd never thought about that point. It's like, okay, now, here's what you get. And Ford's going to say, and you've already said, they showed the discount already for us, in our system. So there's no games to play, no coming in and showing IDs that you work at a plant and your next door neighbor
But
works
those
at
are still welcome. We'll
Yeah,
take that. We still want the planned buyers to come in.
Yeah.
And something you guys are missing that I see is COVID's a total different game than tariffs. Tariffs is leveling the playing field on a global scale that we have nothing to do with. Right. COVID, they shut the world down.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they shut the world down. There are no parts. Obviously, supply and demand goes up. We have the supply. The demand, Ford is doubling down right now with employee pricing for all, from America, for America. I mean, that fits right in line to 74 years of history right here in Central Kentucky with Paul Miller Ford. So, I mean, this is a time that's exciting, and I just hope that we can get some more inventory to keep this going because it doesn't just end a week from now, 2 weeks from now. This thing carries all the way
The 1st of
through
June.
the end of May into June. So it's an exciting time. We get 60 days, and if you're a consumer that's been thinking about a Ford, there's no better time ever in the history of our careers that it's time to come buy a vehicle.
And I think with consumers, they've always wanted transparency. They've always wanted it to be an easier transaction. This eases the transaction completely. It's upfront pricing. Like there is no shenanigans, so to speak. There's upfront pricing. They know exactly what they're going to get with all the rebates. I mean, and it's upfront. We're not hiding anything. It's all upfront, and it's going to be easier for the consumer. And so, yes, I mean, as a dealer, yes, it's great for us. It's great for our inventory to get that moving, get that out. It helps the consumer by being transparent and showing them that, hey, during these scary times, so to speak, in some aspects, we don't know, we've not tread through these waters in a long time. It shows us as a company that Ford is putting their money where their mouth is, and they're taking care of their customers. And I think that's the biggest thing from what I'm looking at it is that Ford's saying, no to the negative side of the tariff. They're saying no to that, and they're saying all for our customers. We build this thing here, and we're going to take care of our people here, and instead of going the opposite direction and throwing these, obviously amazing incentives and rates and all those things, but it's protecting their customer for the future, because we're not going to see the craziness that we saw in COVID. We're going to see our consumers being in better positions. So we can, the average consumer wants to stay in a car 3 to 4 years. This allows them to buy in a time that's great. And when they're ready to upgrade that vehicle, they're going to be in a good position to be able to do that, instead of being in the opposite that has happened in our industry.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Solid.
ready to go sell some cars. I don't know about the rest of y'all.